Years ago, I used to take the bus to work, and I worked really early in the morning. So I'd have to get on the bus like 5 a.m. or 5:30, which is, well before dawn. And it's a weird time of day to be out and around. It's kind of a creepy time of day to be out and around, to be honest. And so, I'd have to walk a couple blocks from my house to get to where the bus was. And you kind of don't want to see other people because it's a weird time to be. Um, you just run into weird stuff that time of day. Let me tell you that. So one day I'm walking to get to the bus, and it's pretty dark, and I see somebody about a block away, and they start walking in my direction, and usually I've, kind of just hope that they'll just pass me by, and I got the feeling that this person wasn't just coincidentally headed in my direction, but was like specifically trying to walk toward me. It's dark. They're wearing a dark hoodie and their hood's up and stuff, and like, does not feel like a good situation to be in. And they keep getting closer, and they seem like a fairly large person. And I'm not enjoying this right now. Until they call me by name. And I realize that this isn't a stranger. It's somebody who I knew when they were like a kid, like a teenager in the neighborhood, and they'd grown up. And he was happy to see me, and he wanted to give me a hug. And being called by name changed the whole nature of the situation, which is what's going to happen for Mary Magdalene today in John chapter 20, verses 11 through 18. But Mary was standing outside the tomb, weeping. So as she wept, she stood to look into the tomb, and she saw two angels in white sitting, one at the head and one at the feet, where the body of Jesus had been lying. And they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "Because they have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have put him." When she had said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, and yet she did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking?" Thinking that he was the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you put him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Stop clinging to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father, but go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene came and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and that he had said these things to her. So last week, we talked about how Mary was expecting the worst, how she saw that Jesus' body wasn't there, and she thought somebody had stolen it. And obviously, though it's been a week for us, it's been moments for Mary in this story, and she's still thinking along those lines, and she's crying, and her eyes are filled with tears. I don't even know if she's looking up or really thinking about much what is going on. And she looks into the tomb, and there are these angels, and for some reason that doesn't really register with her. And then she turns around, and there's somebody there, and there's a lot of speculation about why she doesn't recognize Jesus right away. It could be her eyes filled with tears, could be a lot of different things. But she doesn't. She continues in her mode of thinking of bad things have happened. She's like, maybe you took his body. Maybe you're the gardener. Maybe, I don't know, you decided to move it for some reason. That's weird, but in a moment, Jesus calls her by name, and that changes the whole situation. Because suddenly she realizes who he is. That voice that has called her name so many times before, and is calling her name again. And she just wants to hug him. And now the whole world is different because Jesus is alive. He's not dead. His body's not been stolen. And she is the first one that he does call by name after he's risen. And she's the one who gets to tell his male disciples, who haven't gotten a chance to see him yet, that he's alive. And so, Jesus knows each of you by name. and calls you by name. And that changes everything too.